The Miami Hurricanes are hot on the trail of one of the absolute best players in America. According to 247, the number one player in America. I believe he is announcing soon based on everything I have heard. And I think the Miami Hurricanes have more than a good shot to land DJ Jacobs, complete freak of nature out of Atlanta, Georgia. 6'5", 210, 215. And this is somebody with just electrifying explosiveness, speed. There you see him blocking kicks, high motor, super professional. Trying to find comparisons for him. You got to think of like an Abdul Carter, a type of player, maybe a little longer at 6'5". Look at the power he plays with. When you watch him, okay, you see him line up 2-point stance. He's got tremendous bend, but look at that power. He also has that power. And that's, I think, the thing that makes him unique at 6'5", 210, that lean type pass rusher. A lot of times these guys are trying to avoid blocks. This guy can go right through. He can just, again, you see he delivers on impact. He's a striker. He can play with power. He can generate that it just this that knockback, which is unusual for someone that size. Then he has all the athletic stuff in terms of get off, the closing speed, the bend, the change of direction, just the overall fluidity. He has that there. You see, again, the power. There's the change of direction, the ability to finish with the sack. The motor is outstanding. The production is off the charts. And he's just a great young man from all accounts. I interviewed him again. I thought I was talking to like a senior in college, the way he carried himself. His father played for Georgia with Mark Richt, or under Mark Richt, I should say. Mark Richt, very close to the family. And a lot of people had DJ Jacobs earmarked for Georgia. But again, I am hearing, and it's been reported elsewhere as well, that Miami has an extremely good shot to land DJ Jacobs, the number one player in America, according to 247 Sports. It is a very, very real possibility. It could happen sooner than later. And the reasons, they're multiple. This guy's been down multiple times on unofficial visits. That helps. You've seen Miami play at an extremely high level. You see Miami's defensive ends play at the best level of anybody in the country. Of course, Jason Taylor has a similar build to DJ Jacobs, although I think DJ Jacobs will ultimately be bigger than Taylor as far as weight. But that Hall of Fame credibility appeals to him, especially when you see the results on the field with Bain and Messidor. Just the style of defense, the way Miami's been playing defense. Mario Cristobal, no one's better at relationships. We know that aspect of his skill set when it comes to recruiting as the head coach and the whole operation. All those things have played in Miami's favor. I think with Georgia, number one, Georgia doesn't let their defensive ends loose like this. You look at Georgia's pass rusher. They lost Damon Wilson to Missouri, who is going to be their best pass rusher this year, goes in the portal to Missouri. Georgia Tech's pass rush, probably their biggest weakness all season. It's hard to imagine given the way they can recruit five-star defensive linemen, but the pass rush part, I think they struggle with. They're better at the bigger physical guys who are, look at Trayvon Walker, the way he's rushing the passer for Jacksonville versus the way he rushed the passer at Georgia, much more of a block eater in Georgia, just being physical, taking on two gaps when needed, really going toe-to-toe with the tackle from a head-up standpoint as opposed to trying to line up wide and get after the quarterback, which you're seeing more at the NFL level. So I think a guy like DJ Jacobs is saying, well, I want to get after the quarterback in college. I don't need to wait till I get to the pros. So I think that's helping Miami there. Also, Georgia's not spending a ton of money on high school kids NIL-wise. So I think that is hurting their pursuit of DJ Jacobs. It hurt them with Cantwell. It hurt them with a lot of guys. They only signed one top 10 player in Georgia last year, from what I understand. So it's not like they are cooking in state, despite being, of course, one of the premier programs in the entire country and still recruiting at a high level. They still get a lot of talent. But I think the in-state players feel that maybe Georgia's not paying for high school kids what other schools, including Miami, are paying. Notre Dame's in this mix with Jacobs, Oregon. I think the top two being Ohio State and Texas A&M. But the smart money, like I said, is on the Miami Hurricanes. Look at his junior stats: 102 tackles, 24 tackles for loss, 16 sacks. Been starting since his freshman year. 292 tackles for his career, 67 tackles for loss, 31 career sacks. The rankings vary on him depending who you're talking to. 247 has him as the number one player in the country. I believe Rivals has him as the number 10 player. Actually, they have him as the number 19 player. ESPN has him number 10. His overall composite rankings in that 9 to 10 range overall in the country. But 247 has him stamped as the number one player. There's not usually a lot of consensus with these things. Cantwell was really high on 3, which is Rivals. lower on 247. This is sort of a reverse situation where 247 higher on Jacobs, Rivals higher on, not as high on him. They were higher on Cantwell, but doesn't really matter. This is an elite player, top 10 player in the country. You saw the film. You know how nasty this guy is at playing football. Actually, let's pull up an interview I did with DJ Jacobs about a month ago. Yeah, it was actually a couple months ago. Real quick one that we ran right there outside the Hecht on his visits. You can get a feel for how he carries himself and just a better feel for the young man.
DJ Jacobs, one of the top players in the class of 2027. DJ, how'd you enjoy your trip down here?
It was awesome, man. I mean, the crowd was electric. I mean, it was just awesome time being down here.
So watching the defense, watching your position, what do you see out there as far as the guys getting after it?
They come off the ball, and I mean, they attack. They don't let anyone stop them. I mean, honestly, they were dominating last night. I won't lie. So yeah.
And just being down here, you're obviously here at the school right now and seeing the whole atmosphere. What caught your eye just throughout this trip?
That the students like staying around on campus, and that means a lot. I mean, when the students like the place, that means it's a good place to be. So I mean, definitely just a good vibe down here, and it was awesome. So yeah.
This is early in your recruiting process. Obviously, everybody in the country's after you. What's your process looking like for the next few months?
Process? I mean, a bunch of recruiting trips, man. Just going to different places. So yeah.
Your senior season, any goals in particular?
Goals? Beat my dad's sack record.
There we go. And for those who haven't seen you play, how would you describe how you get down on the field?
Fast, physical, and just electric on the field, and I hustle. That's probably what I would say.
And as far as Miami in the process, is this a school you see yourself coming back to, either on an unofficial or an official?
Definitely going to try to get back up here, yes, sir.
And just going forward, you talked about some of the specific things. What impression overall has Miami made in your recruiting process?
Say that again.
What the impression overall Miami's made in your recruiting process?
It shows. I mean, it definitely is big. I mean, definitely appreciate them having me out here. It shows that they definitely want me to come back. So I'm definitely going to try and get back up here. So,
and last thing, being with Coach Taylor and some of the defensive coaches, what was it like just vibing with those guys?
Coach was awesome. I mean, it was awesome just to talk to him. I mean, he was a great guy. I mean, great coaching staff. I mean, great people in the building. So yeah, it was great.
Awesome, man. DJ, thank you. Have a safe trip back.
Thank you.
Right now.
There you go, man. So, pretty professional, easy interview. Sometimes those interviews, these kids are young, right? They're not used to just going in front of camera. So kind of have to help them out a little bit because they're just not used to it. This guy, you could tell it's not his first rodeo. His dad played, said he wanted to beat his dad's sack record. So I think the professionalism that he brings, the just top-down mentorship from not only his dad, Mark Richt, who's very involved with his family, very close with his family. I mean, just an awesome prospect. That's why he's ranked as a 5-star. And when Miami's going into Atlanta, Georgia, getting 5-star Georgia legacy defensive end pass rushers, I mean, we're in business after getting a 5-star offensive tackle from Nixon, Missouri, potentially getting number 2 ranked overall player, Mark Matthews, offensive tackle from St. Thomas, number 1 offensive prospect in the country from St. Thomas Aquinas. I remember when we used to have trouble at St. Thomas. I remember we used to have trouble with South Florida 5-stars. That hasn't really changed, really. This would change big time with a Mark Matthews. So what we're doing here is unbelievable and unprecedented. And you talk about where you want to spend your NIL money. Georgia's not necessarily spending on high school guys. I'm the biggest portal believer in the world, but when you're spending money on offensive linemen and defensive linemen, left tackle, edge rushers, these NFL positions, you get them in high school, man, because once they get to the college level, they don't leave. And if they do jump in the portal and they're good, their numbers are astronomical. And usually you're paying big numbers for guys that aren't that good. You want the really, really good players, you got to get them in high school at those positions, those freaks. I think Cantwell's one, David Jacobs. You look at the track record. Francis Malinois, Ruben Bain, the cornerstones of what is one of the best teams in the country with the Miami Hurricanes trying to win a national championship here in the 2025 season. And like Johnny Lagoon says, Canes Connection is the name of the game. Go to CanesConnection.com/CIS and be part of this thing. Because when you're talking about Mark Matthews, number 1 offensive lineman in the country, DJ Jacobs, number 1 defensive end in the country, potentially being Miami Hurricanes, the only way to get that done is CanesConnection.com, Miami's official NIL collective, CanesConnection.com/CIS. So you get a lot of member benefits. We got a Zoom chat coming up soon. I'm going to schedule it very, very shortly just to give you the latest on the portal and everything else. Obviously, Cotton Bowl being first and foremost with what the staff's concerned about, by recruiting. Portal never stops. CanesConnection.com/CIS. So we can keep getting players like DJ Jacobs. We'll see where that one goes, but I'm feeling very, very good about where Miami stands heading into the year. But we got a comment I want to get to here. Panhandle Kane, appreciate you. He's deployed, appreciates all the info being provided. Got to get up at 3:0300. I say that right? I'm screwing up. I'm not good with the military time, but getting up early to watch the game. Go Canes. Appreciate you, Panhandle Kane. Appreciate your service. Appreciate your support. And yeah, man, thank you for allowing us to talk about recruits and watch games and all these other kind of silly things while you're out there protecting the country. So again, appreciate what you do for us. But yeah, man, you talk about this statement. If Miami were to land a DJ Jacobs and Mark Matthews, who's been Cristobal to Miami, those are two of the, arguably the two top players in the country, both sides of the line. You start there. Now you are in the driver's seat for the #1 overall class in the country. And what I always said was, look, Mario, people were like, oh, Mario's not an elite recruiter. He only gets top 10 classes instead of top 3 classes. I mean, I heard Pete not say it so much about Mario, but talk about the elite recruiting. And what I always said was, yes, the numbers are the numbers. If you're finishing 10th and 8th instead of 1st and 2nd, you're recruiting at a very high level, but you're not recruiting at an elite level. But Mario never stopped being an elite recruiter. He never stopped being, in my opinion, the best head coach recruiter in the country. Certainly the most active, most aggressive, most hardworking. The difference is he had to rehabilitate the brand. To get a Ruben Bain and Francis Malinois coming off that Middle Tennessee State debacle, really was coming off the 21 season, and then he had to hold them during that debacle of a season in 2022. Bain actually committed a little later, so he watched that whole terrible season and still came to the Canes. To get those guys in that climate takes serious, serious recruiting. A lot easier now that you are selling Malinois and Bain as test cases. Hey, these guys signed with us when we were nothing, and now look at them. First-round picks, brand name college players, 3-year starters, 3 and done. That's what you want. So Miami, I think, is going to be able to crack into that top tier, top 3 recruiting class range, maybe consistently now at a high school, not because Mario's a better recruiter now. He's always been the best recruiter, but because he has a better product to sell, or at least a more established product to sell.